Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, checking in with a container garden tour. And I wanted to give you an update on all that I have growing, stuff that was seeded in the winter, stuff that was planted last fall, and some of the containers that I have been replanting. So let me turn this camera around so I can show you around my massive container collection. Well, I figure I would start here at Dennis's bench and show you the poppies. Now remember, these poppies were re-sown after the holiday freeze. So these were done in late December, early January. And the Reese poppies are blooming and the Papaver somniferum are ready to start flowering. They are budded up and they are planted. Actually, all of my containers, just to be super clear, are 100% veggie mix from Soil Cube. So all of my containers, I don't mix it with anything. It's just the veggie mix from Soil Cube. Now here are two summer pots that I did. This was where there was a bunch of direct seeded kale, and that dried out because fire ants got into the pot. And I decided to go ahead and treat the fire ants and pull out the kale and get it replanted. So this is a let's see, I don't remember what tomato that is. Oh, I left all the, here we go. I left all the tags in the pot. So that's a San Marzano. And then this is a geranium I'm trialing called Santana White. And this is a new coleus called Coral Candy that I'm also trialing. And in with that is Plectranthus, which is really one of the very best plants to help deter animals like deer and rabbits from nibbling. Now this pot here is one that Aiden and I did as a demonstration at the J.C. Ralston on Saturday. And this is a husky tomato and a sweet pepper and that same coleus. And we put in some strawberry runners that aren't looking great, but I think they'll root in and come back to life. Now in the pot behind here, we've got the wildfire lettuce looking beautiful. I'm gonna harvest some of this tonight for dinner. And some very small poppies that are probably not really gonna bloom. I think they were in a bit too much shade. Speaking of shade, I removed the pots that were behind the bench filled with poppies, put them in more sun so they'll bloom better. But you can see these, this is a blackberry from Bushel and Berry that's doing really well, getting ready to set fruit. That is a pot of delicious mint that we use in mojitos along with a hydrangea paniculata. And here is a Bushel and Berry raspberry. And you can see lots of fruit set on this plant as well. And I like to grow these berries in containers, same thing with mint, to keep them contained because these spread quite vigorously from rhizomes, underground runners, and I just am not willing to deal with the consequences of growing these in the ground. Now, obviously, my normal container garden is not as extensive as having a nursery in the front yard, but we had our first plant sale today and it was great, and I think we've worked out some kinks to make sure that the open garden is easy for people to maneuver and to make everything labeled, and I think we are on the path for success there. I am having to keep all of this watered in addition to the rest of the garden, so please come and buy plants. So here at the Airbnb on the front patio, Aiden and I also did this succulent container at the Ralston Arboretum last weekend, and we got these really cool glass flowers that you see it's holding water, but earlier today there were bees drinking water out of that, which is really charming. Now the patio containers, you can see the wheat that was sown last winter is doing really well. And the hydrangeas that I was trialing for container hardiness are about to start opening. This is from the Endless Summer collection. And these violas are doing really well still, I think, because they're only getting morning sun. And of course, the miniature knockout roses that I've been trialing are doing well. Now, this was a pot of barley that grew really early, and then with the really heavy rain that we had, it split in half. So I went ahead and cut the barley down, and I got this pot replanted for the summer. This is another trial geranium. This is a trial portulaca and a trial fuchsia, which I don't have super high expectations for, but here to give you an idea. So this is Santa dark red, fuchsia upright releve. This is a black cherry tomato, and toucan fuchsia portulaca. So I'm trying to do a better job and keep all the labels because I won't remember these names. And I do need to report back to the genetics companies on how they perform. But overall, all the pots here along the front are doing really well. They're cheerful and nice, and obviously Sophia is enjoying them. Well, rounding to the back, you can see we moved these direct seeded poppies in both the soil cube bags and in the pots so that they would get more sun. And I think they're going to do significantly better. You can see some of the poppies in the soil cube bags have already bloomed, and these are all in the budding stage. So I'm really pleased to see all of that. And David and Aiden are out here working hard. You could see the grains that we seeded are also doing well, and we haven't done anything to the mangaves yet. They're just still sitting out here. We'll get it all done. It all just takes a little time and planning. All right, into the fire pit. Remember, always good idea to keep your containers located in groups so that it's easy to water. When you do bring the hose out, you're watering a bunch of stuff instead of spreading them all over the place. Now you can see the wheat that was sown in these pots is looking really beautiful. Actually, all of the grain containers are quite beautiful. The wheat is just really outstanding. I love this awnless wheat, and I really like this combo oats and wheat together. I think that is really pretty. And you can see these are in grow bags. Nothing fancy. I haven't watered them. Obviously, I haven't really watered much other than the small pots because we have had so much rain. Now, these containers that I did kind of a spring rehab on are doing well. You can see nasturtiums have germinated, and the broccolis that I planted in place of the violas are looking good. Same thing here. I did have to tie the barley up, but the wheat has not needed that. You can see these broccolis have really done well. I did get them treated with BT to help cut back on the cabbage worms, decimating them. And this container plant, Summer Combo, is looking really, really happy and healthy. And these pots are still, from the fall. I haven't done anything to them. We've got beautiful violas still. And look at all of the blueberries that have set. These are blueberry varieties from Bushel and Berry. This one is Sapphire Cascade. So this was another plant I was trialing, and I'm really impressed with it. I'm worried about putting it in the ground because I seem to have a pH issue that is continuing. You can see how the new growth on my blueberry here, this is a powder blue, is showing an iron deficiency, and that is an issue with pH that's too high. And I've lost quite a few blueberries in the last few years to this issue, and I don't seem to have the ability to resolve it. I've been asking my soil science friends, and really none of the solutions have actually come to fruition. So I'm going to keep my blueberries in pots. Now up to the back patio, you can see that begonia from last year's trial is just off the charts beautiful. The tower garden has been providing me with ample broccoli harvests. I've still got one big head there to harvest. And I have some big plans for renovating the pots up here and changing it out. So I'll leave it at that for now because that'll be another YouTube video. Of course, succulents on the back patio or on the back deck are always the right choice. And it's been about a week since we redid this window box and everything's looking very happy and I have not had to water it. And that's what I'm looking for. I think this afternoon I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet and replant the other window box just because I'm not keeping it watered well enough. Now out front, we've got all kinds of stuff going on with containers. You can see these big pots that I did a partial summer installation on using coleus and other trial plants are looking good. The snapdragons are kind of about finished and I want to collect the seed because this has been a great variety and these seed heads are almost ripe. So I'm basically just waiting another couple of days and then I will make a video showing how I go about removing the snapdragons so that I can then add tomatoes to both of these pots. Now I also wanted to show you a rice update. It's been hard getting the rice established, and so my recommendation for rice is actually to sow the seeds and water it and then put it like under a roof so that the seeds don't get swamped. You know, once the rice is established, you can have standing water, but there's a stage where it doesn't want to be totally flooded, and that's happened to me now because we've had such heavy rains. But I'm pleased to see good germination there. We did the other rice pot on Saturday when we were at the Arboretum as a demonstration. And of course, hopefully you watched yesterday's video. That was the process of getting the live wall replanted. This west side is full of mangaves and the east side is full of coleus and trial petunias and calibrachoas. Now you can see this herb pot that I planted last fall is looking great. And the potatoes that were planted back in February are growing really well. And I will now be getting these pots redone. They're pretty beat up in part from the rain, but also from the cats. The cats like to come in and just basically sit in them because they're soft and comfortable. And so that's actually the main reason that this barley is looking like there's a donut hole. It's because little babe, Ava Grace, who rarely gets into videos, but also Sophia and Reginald curl up and take naps in these pots. And I just said she rarely makes it into videos, but here she is, sleeping on the front sidewalk. Hey, Ava Grace, can you say hi? She's our actual COVID kitten. She just turned 3, and she prefers when no one visits. Now over here in a lot more shade, you can see the snapdragons are still blooming really well, and my favorite strawberry, Snowy Belle, is producing lots of fruit. In fact, I saw this one. I don't want it to go to waste. That was a good strawberry. And of course, here's my failing window box, and I am not going to torment these plants any longer by leaving them here. I'm going to go ahead and get this redone, and I will definitely post that as another video. Well, as always, I hope that this video will serve as inspiration, and I look forward to sharing more updates from my garden and all of my containers as I continue to make progress doing the seasonal change out. It seems like it was just yesterday that I was planting for the fall and winter, and here it is, May. It's time to start getting summer planted. Well, please give this video a like, share it with your friends, and as always, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy gardening.